In POCO's mid-range lineup, you have the X series and the F series. The F series is a premium mid-range lineup that focuses on providing a flagship-like experience, while the X series focuses on one thing: gaming performance. In 2023, it seems like POCO has shifted its strategy. This year, they are introducing the POCO X5 and the X5 Pro. The X5 Pro is obviously the more expensive of the two, and is faster in almost all aspects, but the cheaper brother, the non-Pro X5, is the one I had the chance to review. I gotta admit, I wanted to test the X5 Pro more and still want to, so stay tuned for that once I get a unit, but for now, I have the X5 and have been using it for 2 weeks now. It kinda lost the edge the X series has with this phone, which is excellent gaming performance at an affordable price. But what it means to the X5 is that it's now a better overall phone, and mostly thanks to that display. But before we talk about this phone, let me quickly tell you about the microphone I'm using right now. This is the 7 Rhymes SR-AT10 microphone. And yes, it's the same mic I'm using right now to record this video. This is an easy-to-use plug-and-play cardioid condenser capable of recording 24-bit high-quality audio recording. There's a built-in sound card that intelligently adapts to vocal recording for a fuller sound and a shockproof design with an internal wind noise reduction system to avoid abnormal noise interference during recording. The knob offers a one-tap to mute the mic and step-less gain control for ease of use during recording. And finally, there's RGB light effect that's accessible via a touch-sensitive surface for added pizzazz during streaming. Make sure to check the links below to know where to get the SR-A10 RGB mic. Thank you 7 Rhymes for sponsoring this video. So back to the phone. The display is basically the main highlight of the POCO X5. It's the second time POCO using AMOLED for its X lineup, and this is a 6.67-inch Full HD Plus AMOLED panel that supports a 120Hz refresh rate and 240Hz touch sampling rate. So it's large, fast, and bright as well. POCO says it's capable of 700 nits in SDR, but based on my use, it's bright enough to make text on light background readable outdoors. This is also a flat screen with Gorilla Glass 3 protection and a hole punch camera for the 13-megapixel selfie sensor. Even if this isn't the fastest or most responsive AMOLED, by comparison to last year's LCD of the X4 GT, this is still a good panel for both media consumption and competitive gaming. And yes, this one does support Full HD playback on Netflix, but if there's one thing missing here, that's HDR playback, although it's not really a deal breaker considering the target market of this phone. But anyway, you finally get an AMOLED phone from the X series. That's great. In exchange for a better display, POCO is reusing the Snapdragon 695 5G chip from the POCO X4 Pro. Basically, you're getting the same performance capability as the X4 Pro, except this time MIUI 13 for POCO is based on Android 12 out of the box. I was a bit skeptical to be honest with you, but after using the X5 5G, I must say Snapdragon 695 isn't a bad chip. So far, the software here is fast and smooth. Perhaps the difference between this and the X4 Pro is the fluidity. I still think POCO still has room for polishing here to make the transition animation smoother, but overall, I have had nothing but a good experience. The only gripe I have is that the battery setting doesn't report my screen on time as informative as older POCO phones do. As a reviewer, it's critical for me to track my screen off and screen on time, and even with a third-party app like GSAM, the software here aggressively kills the background process. Also, if you're looking for something new from this software package, you now have the option to change Google Discover to App Vault when you swipe from the left of the home screen. This basically gives an overview of your phone usage, and as far as implementation, it needs a lot of tuning to read of stutters. Lastly, there's an app called Get Apps that basically acts like Play Store. Since Play Store works where I'm from, I really don't need it, which is unfortunate because there's no way to uninstall it. Gaming wise, the X5 5G is capable of playing nearly all the games in the Play Store without a hiccup, so long it's not a graphics intensive game like Genshin Impact. No overheating problem as well. The phone gets warm at best when it's pushed to its limits. Much like the POCO X4 Pro 5G, this phone isn't targeted toward hardcore gamers. However, it has enough processing power to play and enjoy the most popular and competitive games out right now. As for the rest, the POCO X5 still has a plastic build with a matte finish in the back, as well as the familiar POCO visor in the back. The build is missing dust and water resistance unfortunately, however the fingerprint scanner on the power button is still fast and accurate. There is a headphone jack up top together with the IR blaster, and there's even NFC for wireless payment transactions and device connection. POCO did cheap out the speakers as you only have one South 5-room speaker that's sufficiently loud but on the tinny side, as expected. The charging rate is at 33 watts, so the 5000 mAh battery requires 68 minutes to go from 0 to full. But endurance-wise, I average 5 to 6 hours of screen time without gaming, and sometimes I only need to charge in the middle of the second day. As for the cameras, it's certainly not the strongest feature of this phone, but I would say it's good enough. So mainly you're going to use the 48 megapixel sensor, but unlike other budget phones out there, there's an 8 megapixel ultra-wide together with a 2 megapixel macro. The photos you get here are good enough, especially when you use the 48 megapixel mode. Since this is a budget mid-range phone, you won't always get the best quality with the regular photo mode, so you'll definitely want to maximize the potential of the cameras. Night mode is also solid here as it restores a bit of sharpness while making the scene bright without overkilling it. But really, the best part for me with these cameras is the filters you get when shooting. These filters really look solid if you want to add some spice to your photos. Video wise, everything is capped at 1080p at 30 frames. While I still prefer shooting 4K even without stabilization, I think most people want smoother video footage over sharper but shaky ones. So the POCO X5 is a good phone. It's just about right what you get in a budget mid-range phone in 2023. I think with all the economic adjustments happening this year, it's safe to assume that all devices are more expensive now. And that pricing? It's close to the X5 Pro and even the X4 Pro when you factor out that early bird price. But if you do want to get this phone, I highly recommend it during its early bird promo. You win some, you lose some, as they say. Also, I've been testing the latest Honor X9 5G mid-range phone as well. It's going to be the first Honor phone we review in this channel, so consider this a teaser. That's it for this one. Drop a sub or like if you feel like supporting the channel, and as always, until the next one, stay safe.